Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Britball with the Breens. As normal, another pretty decent weekend. Last weekend, loads of games, a few upsets, a few great games, and really another slate of them this weekend that could go either way. We've had quite a few Player of the Week nominations this week. I've been searching for them this week as well. So we'll get into those later on. Would you have a guest again tonight, Chris? How are you before we invite him in?
Yeah, I'm good. Getting ready for a wee weekend away as well, so I'm not at home at the moment, and currently our parents' house, and as you can see, Mum's nice thistle painting behind me. Just to add a little bit of colour, otherwise to a white background. But no, I'm doing all right. Disappointed I missed last week's show, but I'm glad to be back on this week.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming this is the first weekend I've had off in forever. Mrs. is away on a hen do, so I have a 12-year-old singleton sitting beside me for this show, so I'll be enjoying myself. We have a guest tonight, Warwick Grosvenor from the Scunthorpe Alphas. He's general manager of that team. So what we'll do is we'll get Warwick in, we'll have a chat to him as normal, and then we'll get on with the show. Good evening, Warwick. How are you?
Evening. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. You?
I'm not too bad. So we have had the sexiest man on the show. We've had the coolest man on the show. And I think you win the title for the coolest mustache I've ever seen.
Thank you very much. Thank
It's
you.
a cracker, isn't
That you've ever seen? What, just on this show or ever?
No, like...
Certainly, I mean, definitely on the show, but like, it's got to be up there.
I just fermented it specially for the show.
We don't get... I don't really get to see that many extravagant mustaches up here. We just don't do that up here.
It's just beards or nothing.
Well, yeah. Well, I can't grow a beard, and my brother grows a beard every night. So
I can't grow a beard for love nor money. That's the thing. So this originally, once upon a time, I was like, I'm never going to grow any facial hair, never going to grow a beard or anything. And then one year, I decided, me and my missus, we had a bit of a laugh. We're like, I'll do November for a laugh. And then by the end of November, it turned out that I actually had an all right moustache. So all this time, I was thinking that I couldn't grow any facial hair, and I can't grow a proper beard, but I can grow an all right moustache. So you got to work with what you've got, really.
That's exactly it, isn't it? You're getting a few shouts out here. Let's fucking go. Let's go, Coach G. Big Warwick, Sam Fossey.
Evening, boys.
I'm not sure what this means, but I'm sure you do.
I do, yeah.
Well, one of the things, obviously, we want to speak about Scunthorpe to start with. So, I guess the first thing is, like, how do you feel your seasons went? You guys have obviously played really well this year. You guys haven't been too interrupted with games, except for South Lincolnshire. How is the season going for you so far?
Yeah, it's going as we hoped. Shut up, Nick. Yeah, it's going as we hoped so far. To be honest, we haven't actually played as well altogether as we would have liked, although we've had results go our way, fortunately. But we haven't really managed to put together a full game yet. We've had a good half followed by a crap half, or the other way around. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we've got the results that have gone our way. So yeah, things are going swimmingly. You can't really complain too much. So
no, and you obviously, like, if it's like you've beat Lincolnshire, Lincolnshire Bombers, who are or who have been one of the better teams in that division over the last, well, apart from 2021, have been a better team in that division over the last few years. Yeah. And to come out in the second half and like take them on and really go for it and put up some points, obviously it must have felt pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, the first half we didn't really play that great. We had a game plan defensively, and to be fair, they adjusted to our game plan pretty well in the second quarter. But the issue that we had really in that first half was we adjusted to them too much, if that makes sense. So we got away a little bit from playing our own game. And then at half time, we sort of had a chat about it. We sorted ourselves out defensively. And I think we got out of our own heads a little bit on offense, and we just sort of started to roll. We had a few plays go our way. So yeah, second half was a lot more us. I think we scored 4 on the bounce. So that was better. And this is what I mean. We need to string together 4 quarters rather than 2 rubbish ones and 2 good ones. But yeah, it was a good game, and the Bombers played really. Their QB Lewis, I think he's called Lewis Culver. He had a great game, to be fair, and their receiver number 10. I don't know his name, I'm afraid. Sorry, lads. But he also played well, and they've got an outstanding receiver, Ryan Wakeling, he's fantastic. He's a really, really good player. So they've got some real tools on offense, and they've got some decent defensive players, a couple of really good defensive ends and things. So they're by no means an easy team to play against. But yeah, we're doing all right.
Yeah, it kind of puts you in the driving seat for the division. You obviously have to face them again, but having scored a decent amount of points the first game obviously puts you in a good position being at home the second time. But it's great that even I guess even you coming into the league, you're technically still like a really new outfit, and coming into that division and being able to like beat some of the guys like Humber and Doncaster and all these guys must be pretty good feeling.
Yeah, I mean we've been building for the last few years to get to this point. So in our very first associate year, obviously there was rules at that point. Things slightly changed a little bit now, but there was rules at that point around the number of rookie players that you had to have versus transferees or people that have played previously. So we had a massive squad of rookies that year. That were sort of supported and guided by some more experienced guys. And then over time, the squad's changed a little bit. We've had some guys come in, we've had some guys leave. But the guys that have been with us from the start, of which there's quite a few, they're now hitting that sort of 3-year point. And I'm a big believer that it's your 3rd year in the league or playing the sport that you really start to, the learning curve sort of really steepens and you take off a little bit. So some of those guys are really, really stepping up, and then we've had some other guys join us that have sort of been around the league a little bit, that have seen what we're doing and have sort of bought into what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve. So yeah, I mean, there's not really been a huge amount of doubt in our mind that we're capable of progressing. We've made a massive leap from this year to last year. And that's as a result of a couple of things. But for example, we've got a new offensive coordinator this year, Nick Bagnall, and if people aren't aware of who he is, they should be, because he's a bit of a genius. He's an outstanding coach. His brother Andy Bagnall has come in as our QB. Our QB from the last couple of years is moving back to America. So bye, Derek, miss you already. And thanks for everything that you've done for us. But we're moving forwards, and it's been interesting, obviously seeing, because obviously we've been bubbling away in the background. We've had a pre-season training camp, and we're trying to do things the right way, and we're aware of what's going on in our local area and things like that, and other teams around us. And we've known that we're capable of what we've achieved so far, and what we hope to achieve for the rest of the year, which is of course winning the division. We're winning the conference at least, and then see what happens in the playoffs from day one. And it's been quite the pleasure to see the predictions going against us on a regular basis and then proving people wrong.
Yeah, we always try and well, it's quite weird because normally like the predictions you get, obviously our picks between us two are normally pretty similar, but you get picks go up on Sport Tank, and usually you get like a whole host of games are like everyone picks the same, and then there's the odd one that everyone's like, oh, we're not sure, and we all kind of pick different teams in that. But yeah, like from our point of view, like it's great when the teams come up and they start competing, like you guys have. So all credit to you. I'm just going to put some of these comments up before Chris asks you a question.
It is.
That's also true.
I mean, the thing is I blame all the breaks in the season for my absolutely dreadful pick performance this year. I'm normally on it, but see all these breaks and everything, it's just throwing me off. I just can't do it as well this year. although I've definitely got a couple of the close ones right, where others have went wrong. But let's bear in mind that it's wrong that 10 of us apparently pick for Sportank because I mean, the reason why it's wrong that I got accused of last week was absolutely tragic, but I'll leave that for people to look for in the comments if they want to. But yeah,
it's tough to keep on top of all the different teams, and it's a big league. There's a lot of teams, so it's difficult to know everything that's going on across the whole spectrum.
I think the thing is, we certainly like to believe that within reason, there's at least a degree of logic. Like even if we get it wrong, we know that scores aren't always necessarily transferable, but if two teams have played Humber, or I don't know why I've said Humber, but two teams have played a team and they've beat, one team's beat them 50-0 and one team's beat them 8-0, then there's logic behind saying, well, the team that's won 50-0 is likely to beat the team that beat them 8-0, and then it turns around and they lose 12-6, and you're like, one of those.
Any given Sunday and all that. I mean, for us, we've got Donny this weekend, we've got Humber in a couple of weeks, and then Bombers after that. So, for us, it's a case of take each game as it comes and do our thing, and we know that we're capable of winning games. And we've shown that we are capable of beating every team in our conference. But now we've got that target on us. We've got people wanting to get revenge. Humber and Bombers in particular. Well, Donny of course as well this Sunday. So we've just got to execute next time, because the Bombers clearly they adjusted, like I said, in the second quarter. They can readjust again, and they'll be wanting to undo that result. And there's nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal, is there? So, we can't take our foot off the gas. We can't assume that it's going to be easy next time. It certainly wasn't easy before. And as a club, we have that ethos of, we're always looking to move forward, always looking to improve, always looking to learn. Excuses are the bricks that build a house of failure, aren't they? So any time something goes against us, or say our tackling's rubbish, at the end of the day, you look at the practice field. If we have a blown coverage, you look at the practice field. There's always something you can be better at, even in games where you win 54-0. So we take that approach, and no game is easy. And it's at the point of the season now where obviously we're looking at post-season, potentially, obviously take each game one by one, but you've got post-season in the back of your mind, and seedings and things like that, and we could really do without a long trip up to Inverness, to be honest. So
it's not even. I hate to break this to you, but it's not even Inverness. It's actually past Inverness.
Is there even anything? Is there actually anything past Inverness? Is it just a small group of American football players on an island somewhere?
It's Invergordon, so it's like it's basically like you go across a bridge, like across the river, across from Inverness, and then you go up through the Highlands, and they're up around where they put all the big oil rigs, all the drilling rigs in. So they are
it shouldn't be allowed.
The thing is, what the worst thing is if you get a train from Inverness to the top of Scotland, it still takes you another 4 hours. So there's still a lot of land above Inverness, but you can go. To be fair, if you go in Inverness south, you can go down the A9. It's just a straight road right the way through Scotland, but like for us, we have to go through the A96, and it's single track road.
In that case, right, Alpha's defense that are listening, if you concede any points over the next 3 games, every single one of you is getting slapped
with a £10 cost for fuel. Yeah. Well, one thing for sure, you do things a little bit differently. I'm just going to share my screen here, just to kind of give folk a flavour of this. And we were just discussing this before we came on. So you guys do quite a lot of stuff on game day, right? So this is obviously they're called fat patties, is it?
Yes, yeah. So they're joining us this Sunday. So shout out to them. So every home game that we have, we try and make it a bit more of an experience for friends, family members, fans, dare I say it. So we put on hot food. We have local businesses basically come down. So usually things like burger vans and fat patties, for example, this Sunday. But we've had pizzas and hot wings and fish and chips, which was outstanding for the Humber game, and people like that. We have face painting and bouncy castles for the kids. We've got a brass band, a marching band that come. So they can't play whilst the game's actually going on, but pre-game and half-time and things like that. So a bit like college football in the States. So that's really good. And to be fair, adds a lot of atmosphere to it. And then obviously cheerleading show at half-time as well and things like that. So we try and make it a bit more of an experience rather than just, asking people to come and watch an American football match. Commentary as well. We try and have commentary. But the problem that we have is just purely down to, numbers of people and volunteers and things like that. So if anyone's listening and wants to come and help out, please do jump aboard. But
I guess that's the biggest thing that I would say separates American sports from British sports is it's not just the game, and I'm talking about every sport. It's not just the game. Like if you go to an NFL game or a college game over there, there's so much on constantly that the game is like kind of just the bit in the middle, and everything else goes around. So if you're doing that at like a level in the UK, it's going to attract people to come along and get involved.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Sorry, Chris, go on.
No, I was just going to say on that point as well. Like I went to an ice hockey game in Philadelphia, and I classified it as a rave without breaks of hockey. Pretty much described.
I wouldn't describe an Alphas game as that. It's a bit more low key. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, and part of it is down to the fact that we try and get as many people down to as possible. It helps us out as an income stream, which enables us to invest money into our players, into our club, into our youth team. We're looking at potentially having completely free youth involvement. So, i.e., what am I trying to say? Basically, the kids don't pay anything to play, essentially, is what we're trying to do, to get as many kids involved as possible. And in order to do that, you have to, we sort of, in terms of management, we try and treat it like we run a business, and that business happens to be putting on American football games. So it's all about the product that you have, and that it's your online presence, your branding, your marketing, your game day experience, and all that sort of stuff. And it takes a lot of time and effort and work. But that in itself generates interest, generates sponsors, generates people wanting to come and play for you. And from that, you then get opportunities to be able to potentially speak to people about, even if they don't want to come and join us as a player, they might want to get involved on game day. We've got loads of volunteers that help us on game day. They might want to become a ref. We put a ref into the Bafra pool. We did have another one that was due to train, but then COVID hit, and we fund their referee training costs and all their equipment and so on and so forth. So it's not just as straightforward as just, "I'll come and play for us and we'll coach you" and things like that. That's one part of the wider machine that will elevate the program, hopefully over a long term. So that's what we're trying to achieve and trying to do, and it's worked out so far quite well. But yeah, it is a lot of work. But fortunately, we've got some absolutely amazing people that I was going to say work for us. They don't work for us at all. They volunteer, and they do a fantastic job. They may as well be working for us, just not getting paid for it.
Yeah, that's all brilliant. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's second. It's when you get teams like that doing that, it's second to none. Like very, very few teams do that. Like I don't think I've ever heard of a team in the UK having a marching band. Like cheerleaders, yeah, we've heard them loads of times, seen them loads of times, but for that, like it's just something different. So it's great. Chris, do you want to ask Warwick about his awesome unis before I move on to our play of the week?
I will, but I would like to. I believe I seen a comment pop up about Dawson the Scots. I'd quite like to address that one, saying go look up the last NFC 2 North champions for the last twice, and then come back to me.
And the last three, have had Scots involved. because
The last
Glasgow
two
have
have had Scottish winners.
yeah.
I don't even know what that means. But whatever it is, don't be racist. Hi, Lewis.
Yeah.
No, as I say, like, you know, we spoke before we came on the show about the uniforms, and like it is not a secret that your ice white ones are extremely popular. But you were saying
They are
like
nice.
you've not had a chance to rock them so much this year, have you?
No, it's I mean, a lot of teams like to wear white or black, don't they? So I mean, obviously we play Bombers this year. They play in white. South Links play in yellow. And you know, technically yellow white. It's not really the same color, but you know, it's close enough, isn't it, to make it more viable to wear blue.
Humber are grey as well, aren't they?
Yeah, Humber are grey. So, and it's a lightish grey as well. So Donny away, we wore white because they wore green for that, and we're wearing white again this Sunday. So yeah, you can come down and get your rocks off to our white uniforms if you like.
Big fan.
But yeah, they are really nice.
Yeah,
It's not. It's still the navy lowers, though, is it?
Yeah, navy lowers. Yeah,
Yeah, because it
so
doesn't technically. Because I made myself very unpopular across the Britball scene because I ranked my favorite and my least favorite Britball unis, and I pissed off a lot of teams because my ground rules were all black and all white was banned because, as you say, everybody wants to wear all black and all white, and the reality is every all black uni is really cool and every all white uni is really cool. So the white with the navy doesn't break those rules.
Do you know what? I've been put off white lowers ever since my first ever year of playing, and I was fortunate enough to play at the University of Hertfordshire, albeit not for very long because I ended up leaving due to illness. And my first year of playing, we had white lowers that year, and with it being uniball, we were always playing in like the dirtiest, muddiest pitches ever. And it used to do my head in because they were white, but they'd get absolutely covered in mud, and then you'd spend the next 2 weeks trying to clean them. So pretty much from then on, I was like, no, white lowers are rubbish. Never going to wear them. But I mean, realistically, it make no odds in summer ball, but I can't get over it.
The person washing the kit's like, Daz doesn't even work. Not crazy. Well, someone's saying here, are you ready to ball out on Sunday?
It's got to stop. It's got to stop the use of this phrase. Honestly, I don't know if you're across this.
Ball out
but,
on Sunday.
So Jamie's one of our players, and we've got to kill the phrase balling out in the UK. I can't stand it. Honestly, it's the worst phrase ever. We got beat 50-0, but we balled out. Just shut up. Stop it. Stop using it.
When it's used that way, yeah, stop using it. Like
I can't stand it.
But then it's up there for me when a team gets beat like 60, 70-0, and then you see the post afterwards going, but they kept fighting till the end. And I'm like, did they though? Yeah,
watch the film, get on the practice field, work out what went wrong and get better. Stop talking about balling out. You didn't ball out enough. Yeah. End of it. Just stop using that phrase. It's rubbish. Can't stand it.
Indeed, I am calling.
And I'm looking at you, Grant Lawless. Stop it.
But Grant Lawless is a baller, though, isn't he? I don't know what this is all about, you know?
He's GM of the GB team, and he's using it as a hashtag. You're in deep trouble.
Yeah, but he's mainly using it to piss me off.
There you go. Danny says we're ready to go 6-0. Good on you, Danny. But yeah, it's really good, and it's great to hear that you guys are doing so well.
Thank you.
It's nice to see, especially some of the Division 2 teams that have come in the last few years have done really well, and it's good to see that they're all kind of building the right thing.
Yeah, that's it. And the thing is, I mean, our mantra this year, I don't know if you've seen, but one of our key things is make Division 2 great again. We've got the hats and everything for this.
And you said balling out was bad, dude.
Oh yeah, but think about it though, because the thing is, like, there's all this stuff that's said about Division 2 about how, you know, it's just an enthusiast league and it's just you know, it's for those that it's basically for a pub team and things like that. And it doesn't have to be like that. And teams don't have to be rubbish. And the teams that, like, there's so much stuff about, there's not enough refs because there's too many teams. There's new teams coming in and things like that. It's not about new teams. It's about bad teams. And you look at Northants and you look at Hereford and you look at Darlington and Highland and teams like that, and they're all coming in and they're doing something decent. And these teams are now all of a sudden in Division 2 coming in and beating teams that have been established for a long while. And the reason why is because it's a fresh slate and they're doing things right and they want to do things well. And it's not about whether you're new or not, and yeah, there are, other teams that are struggling for whatever reason. But, yes, we are a Division 2 team at the moment, and we hopefully won't be for very long. And it's our ambition not to be. But whilst we are in Division 2, we don't have to act like it. The traditional sense of being in Division 2, we can still apply ourselves in the right way, approach the game. It's an amateur sport, but approach it professionally in terms of our preparation, our branding, our marketing, our uniforms, our game day experience and things like that. And, guys like Northants are exactly the same. And, we said beforehand, I just want to say, as soon as I'm on here live, I feel gutted for the Northants guys that they haven't been able to play relay games. And I really hope that they,
and I mean, ultimately, you have to look at it from the standpoint. We approached it with the same mentality. In the year we got promoted. Just because we were a Division 2 team doesn't mean you had to act like a Division 2 team. We prepped. We prepped hard. We worked hard, and we saw the results. But the problem is everyone wants to just sling it and say, new teams are the problem, and this is the problem. This is the problem. And no one actually bothers to kind of just take a minute and think about it. Now, you just have to look at Northants. It's the Sauce twice and Swindon once have pulled out of games. They're not new teams. They've been around for a while now.
Yeah.
So who's the problem? Is it Northants and Scunthorpe, or is it Swindon and the Sauce? Like, you know what I mean?
There's the whole thing
it's a lazy take. Is what it is.
I would totally agree. And Northants are a team that are really well coached. Their social media and all the rest of it is on point, and they're a great bunch of lads as well. We faced them multiple times, and to be fair, they've given us our medicine pretty much every time. But they are elevating the level of football, at least in their region, and they're drawing people to them as well that want to play for them, and that's ultimately what we want to do. And it's not saying that other teams in our region need that, but competition breeds progress at the end of the day, and other teams in our area, if we do continue to push on and develop and things in the way that we hope that we do and that we're trying to, other teams in our region are going to have to continue to develop and get better. And why would they not want to? Because you've got the likes of the Bombers, and I guarantee you now, some of them will be watching this saying, "Oh, that guy with the moustache is right, knob, but the Alphas, we hate them, and we're going to beat them next time." And that's the way that they should be thinking. Yeah. Because next time they're going to play better. Thank you, Liam. It's all Alphas people coming on saying about my moustache.
Oh yeah. He's right enough. Organisation behind the team makes winners. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the thing. At the end of the day, we need solutions. We need to stop. People need to stop just going, "Oh, this is rubbish. Oh, there's not enough refs. Oh, there's not enough this, that, and the other," and chuntering about it, and actually do something about it. If every single team put a referee into the league, there wouldn't be a need. There wouldn't be a need for more refs because there'd be enough.
I can see me getting on with you very well because I've said this so many times. Like, surely a straightforward, simple solution would be every team has to put forward someone to go through BAFRA training, and they effectively go on an on-call list. Is your team playing this week? No, right? We need X, Y, Z filled, so let's pick guys. I've said it a while now, so I completely agree with you. But as I say, I think the thing is that it's a league-wide attitude problem, to be honest, as well. Like, the simple solution is just to go, "Oh, it's Division 2's fault," and I'm like, well, explain, like, actually justify. Like, I had somebody having an argument with me on social media the other week, saying that the best solution for BAFA was to dissolve Division 2 because it was bringing the whole league down. And I was like, oh, that's genius, because you realise that obviously there's more teams in Division 2 than there are in 1, and there are more than there are in the Prem, so obviously more subs and fees money. And then he told me the reason I didn't understand is because no one in Britball understands finance and cost, which I didn't have the heart to tell him is my job.
We do.
You know,
We try
it's
to.
it's things like that. It's lazy. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Chris. My guy.
Well, to be fair, Chris has the most magnificent beard ever. So so that
I'll give it a good old
give
stroke.
There you go. There you go, Luke. Someone's picked you up on that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, it is. It's all things that we can be worked out. It just needs a bit of effort, and that's the same goes for everything.
I've got to say though that teams. I don't know what the answer is, and that I'm more than willing and happy, and I've reached out to BAFA as well around in response to another email. I'm not making myself sound like a some sort of angel or whatever, but I'm keen to be part of the solution. That's what everybody should be, but I don't think that teams and avoiding games is the answer. And for Northants, I just want to clarify, I don't know the details as to why teams haven't played Northants. I don't know so I'm not going to talk about specific teams or anything like that, but it is frustrating when when you let's face it, that teams that think they're going to win a game don't walk away from a game. No. And that's the bottom line.
It's absolutely no coincidence whatsoever that sort of prior 2018, there was no red yellow card rule, and you had teams forfeiting games left, right, and centre, week in, week out, forfeit here, forfeit there. You had the whole, I believe it was the Farnham Knights taking a tactical forfeit against the London Warriors so that they were fresh for their relegation battle the next week and stuff like that. And then in 2018, I think it was, this red yellow card system came out, and we had like 2 forfeits in a year. And then we had about the same in 2019. And then for some absolutely bizarre, unknown reason to anyone with any sense of common sense, they took it away this year, and here we are. We're back again.
I mean, I'm a big believer.
I'll never understand that.
I'm a big believer that you learn far more from a loss than you do from a win, and there's still plenty you can learn from a win. And there's more to it than it's not black and white, because you do chuck player safety into it and all the rest of it. But my first ever adult game, I used to play for the Bombers. I left university. I went to play for the Bombers. My first ever game in the adult league was at the Bombers against Shropshire Revolution. We lost 95-0. And the following week we played Staffordshire Surgeon. We lost 65-0. And then we spent the next pretty much 4 years trying to lose by as little as possible. But I wouldn't be half the player or coach or whatever you want to call me that I am now if I hadn't been through that. And so many players, learn so much from those experiences. And it's not like, we're all human beings at the end of the day. It's not like us as the Alphas, for example. If we were playing a team and we're like 40-0 up, we're not going to be like going out of our way to batter people just because we're already, and we need to get to a place where we're supporting teams to finish these games and to make them as competitive as possible and valuable as possible, so that they stop being avoided. Because, like, for example, we've lost money. We've lost £1,000 at least. And the businesses that we work with have lost money as well. And I know Northants have lost money as well. So any teams that are listening to this, please, that are even considering forfeiting games, please pull out all of the stops that you can to get these games played. You just got to do it. Donny, for example, I don't think it's in their DNA to forfeit games. And we won fairly convincingly against them last time we played them, and I can guarantee they're going to turn up all guns blazing. They're going to punch us in the mouth on Sunday, and that's the way it should be. And there's a lot of teams out there in the league that need to approach this sport, that they're very lucky to be able to play with that attitude. And ironically, most of the time when these games are cancelled, if you canvass the players of those teams, they would all want to be playing them. But sometimes decisions.
I think one here. Yeah, I think one here, like, I mean, you're probably right, but the thing is the reason that Northants would never have a losing record of that bad is that because they are too well run. Like, it's not like because they're simply a better team because they're well run and they wouldn't do it. Like, they just wouldn't forfeit games. I mean, this one here,
I mean, that's not really a fair list though, because they're the teams that are winning every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'd be better asking for like your Olympians and your.
That was probably 2017 or something as well. Or
like there was.
I'm not saying it definitely was. It was probably around that time before the red yellow card system came in. But that needs to come back.
Yeah, this is right as well, Chris. Wayne was saying this last week. Like, you should have to financially compensate the team if you pull out. But there's no the thing is BAFA will never enforce that. They need to, but they never will. So unfortunately that. But yeah, it's one of these things that
it's difficult to enforce it unless the national governing body's really going to go hard on it. So it's one of those teams just need to sort it out. You know, we're sort of June, July now. You know, we shouldn't be in a position now where we're going, we had the roster checks apparently, didn't we, at the start of the year, where we were supposed to have a minimum of 35 players, and you know, if teams are losing 15 players to catastrophic season-ending injuries in the space of a couple of games, it's
something's wrong.
You know, but
here we go.
Anyway, I'm here to talk about the alphas, not about everybody else.
Yeah. It's all right. We'll move on to our play of the week here. So really effective playoff stuff in the south. Yeah, forfeit games means 0 points because it does, but it's also
they get deducted as well.
Yeah,
so although 0 points conceded, they don't count towards your points against per game average. I know that sounds a bit off, but so effectively, it makes your average actually worse because it means that the points you've conceded are more valuable. So, in 2018, our year, the West Coast Trojans forfeited the last game against us, and it put our points against below the Birmingham Bulls.
An average over fewer games.
Yes, because it's an average. So we didn't concede any to the West Coast Trojans the first twice we played them.
So really, to make it fair, you should have minus points conceded.
Yeah.
So you should win one.
It should balance out. It should
20.
still be this. It should still be the same average, but it's not. So it actually impacts the team that got forfeited against even more negatively because it makes it a fewer game span. Because
really, the target should be the best uniforms then.
I mean, I'd be okay with that. But as I say, even if you think about our 2018, we wouldn't have been the number one seed had Birmingham not lost to the Surge, because our points against had went worse than theirs because we got forfeited against.
Yeah, wild, was it? This one here, I agree with this, but not to BAFA.
You'd never see it again. You'd never see it again.
I was speaking to someone this week, so they took in £317,000 in 2019-20 from memberships and spent £219,000 of that on the national team. They spent near on 2/3 of the entire money they take in from BAFA on the national team, which is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, this one here, boot them out of the league. Don't
waste your time with them. Don't waste your time with them.
Get rid of them. Take them out and let other teams benefit from their players. Simple. I think
the problem is, obviously, we had COVID last year, and to a large extent that sort of almost set the table a little bit for this year, didn't it? Because obviously we lost the yellow card, red card system because of the impact of COVID, and that's, you can understand it under the circumstances. Although saying that, having said that, I don't want to suggest or naysay about any other teams, but let's face it, that there were some games that perhaps arguably under a different circumstances would have taken place.
Can I give just you've raised a really good point. I know we need to get onto the games and stuff, but I do want to counter what you've said in the respect about the COVID kind of caused the yellow red card to be rescinded, and it makes sense in a way. But the whole point of taking away the yellow red card system is that it's been replaced by we'll assess it on a team by team or instant by incident basis, right? Which now means that every game forfeited needs to be investigated as an instant by incident basis. See if you'd left the yellow red card in place but put a system of appeal. You'd
Yeah.
only need to investigate the games where COVID was a factor.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think
Problem solved.
Yeah, I think that the yellow red card system should be in place, and
it was BAFA's best idea easily in the last decade. Easily, I have no idea why you get rid of it.
I mean, it's that in combination with the referee situation, and the referee situation giving teams an out, really, almost to say, oh, well, we're not comfortable not playing with refs or whatever it might be. I mean, in some circumstances, there's some coaches out there who know the rules inside out and are really, really good refs. And, we've seen some really good practice as well. There's a guy, I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but there was a guy the other day, wasn't there, that posted and basically said, I live near Leicester, I'm level 1 qualified. There's a lot of, a coach youth, the youth season's finished. If anyone needs a ref, hit me up. And that's the sort of stuff that we need more of as a temporary solution, but we need a more long-term solution, and we also need a yellow and red card system. And on the subject of BAFA, I couldn't possibly comment, because at the end of the day, I don't know enough about the workings of BAFA and the where the money goes and all the rest of it. And it's, for me, it's something that I'd rather
avoid.
You'd rather not know.
But it's not that. It's that you don't
want to come out and say something that you aren't fully aware of. It's
I can't have I'm all for having informed opinions, but I don't have an informed opinion on it. And I know that the guys in BAFA, regardless of whether they have or have made mistakes, and I don't know whether they have, because I don't know about it. The majority of them are volunteers that have been around the sport, love the sport for a long time, and they're trying their best. Now, if they fall short, then that needs looking at, and they need the community of the sport to support them and help them as much as possible. And I'm sure that there's a lot of learning to take from this, but I couldn't, on the face of it, these things sound, a bit iffy or dodgy or whatever. But maybe I'm saying this because we need more transparency. I don't know. But I don't know enough about the inner workings and decisions to be able to properly inform it.
There you go. He's right in a way here that
I mean, I get
a service.
I get where he's coming from, and Grant, it shouldn't be a reason not to play games. I do get it, but I have met a lot of coaches in the British American football game, and there is nothing covered about rules in the level 1. And when I did my level 2, there was a 10-question section on the rules, and 3 answers out of the 10 they had were wrong. Right? It does become about safety at that point, because people not knowing the rules either won't have the confidence to flag something that they should, or they're going to make up stupid and flag things that they shouldn't be flagging. Even if I just take, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus or anything, but even take an example from one of my team's games. One of our players got on a special teams play, got blocked, and he got taken out of bounds. And the guy grabbed a hold of him and continued to drag him out of bounds all the way through the coach's box, the player's box, and beyond. And I'm incensed by this, because he's putting my guys. To me. It also sounds like a personal foul. Because as soon as
that's not a film, isn't it?
You can't continue to block out of bounds. But it's things like that. That could have. For example, in a game, I was on the sideline on crutches because I had ACL surgery. Now, I know it sounds a bit daft, but he could have wiped me out in the process because he was doing something illegal, but the standing official doesn't flag it because he doesn't understand that that's a rule break. And that's not a dig at him. It's because he's not been taught the rules. So it does become a problem when safety is concerned, because you're seeing stuff being let go that really should not be let go.
And let's face it, level 1 isn't exactly,
Well, there's nothing about rules in level 1.
No.
Now, and as I say, I've met a lot of coaches, and I consider myself quite a rules-conscious player when I played. And then I went and did my BAFRA training and realised I didn't know squat. And I knew a lot more than a lot of the people I was around. And I realised I didn't know squat. And now we're asking these people to referee games, and it does become dangerous. And I'm not talking about guys starting to take cheap shots and retaliating, because that's on the coaches, right? That's on the coaches to monitor that and manage that. But what I'm talking about is incidents that should be getting flagged, not getting flagged, that could lead to serious injury. And that's the problem. But I agree to an extent. It shouldn't be an excuse just to not play a game, but I can understand why people wouldn't be comfortable playing it. We've not rescheduled, but it's not been good. It's not been ideal, and I imagine a lot of people are seeing the same things.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is, everybody put a ref into the league. Jobs are good, and
100% with you on that one.
Played
100% with you.
And then
100% with you on that.
Yellow and red card system next season. Make BAFTA great again. Sorted.
Yeah. When you're the majority of your level 1 or player coaches, yeah, I know, and that's the thing. It's more for when you're not playing. You could send that ref to another game, I think. But yeah, I get what you're saying. So what we'll do is, like, over the last few weeks, I think teams have actually been avoiding saying their game's cancelled until Saturday, because we have a scumbag section on here. So we have a slide. Well, we have our slideshow here.
That's what we're here for.
And thankfully, we've only had one this year. Now, I believe that this one is postponed. I think it's been postponed because there's no refs, and there's a bit of an issue with one of the team's health.
I don't know the ins and outs is the reality of it, but I know that the game is not going ahead tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which one? So that's Clyde Valley, isn't
Clyde
it?
Valley, yeah.
Sorry, Sunday. It's not going ahead on Sunday. That's Clyde Valley against Highlands. So Highlands game, yeah.
Yeah. We always put the team that's not playing.
Yeah. So I'm not sure of the ins and outs. I'm just aware that game will not be going ahead.
Yeah. So obviously we
Clyde
don't
Valley
have any...
can't get all the way to Mordor.
Yeah, not without the Eagles. We've got nobody in the scumbag section this week. I believe.
I'm only joking, Highlands, by the way.
No, it's not far off. It's
the arse end of nowhere. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and there's a mountainous area as well. So there's
sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it is lovely. There is rumours about Gateshead's game potentially being a bit of a chance of being off, but I don't know how true that is. They've not got refs. They're playing. How can you be in the scumbag?
They'd ask Adam, but he's reffing our game.
Oh yeah, he said that. Yeah, I heard that earlier. So yeah, if you want to get in the scumbag section, it's very easy, believe me. But we've been good
never
this
be
year.
In the scumbag section.
Yeah, we've been good this year, so let's hope we'll keep it that way. So our next section here is the fun bit. So obviously we say this every week. Like and share this bit, because this is where we get to put some players on show. We've had a fair few entries this week. I feel really bad because we've been offense heavy, and we're still quite offense heavy this week. There was a few plays come in, but basically, what we do here, we do 3 plays. We each get a selection of which one won, and we choose which is the best one. So our first play is from Manchester game versus the Edinburgh Wolves.
If it doesn't have a cartwheel in it, I don't want to know.
No. Well, actually, no, I'll let it play through and you'll see what I mean. So this is Manchester on defense here, but this is a Manchester play. So this is a defensive play. So,
if it's Fossey, it's a default win for Manchester, I'm afraid.
So QB takes back, DB fights for the ball, then breaks the tackle, makes the sideline, dodges his own player, steps inside and dodges the next player, goes down the sideline, skips another guy, breaks the tackle, kind of does a roll, and then I don't think this was a touchdown. I think that's the only thing that is potentially a bit upsetting about this, is that it's not.
It's outrageous.
I don't think it's actually a touchdown. But again here, so you can see at this point, like, this is a good play because this is anyone's ball.
Look at Fossey. Look, Fossey stood there watching. What are you doing? Come on, Sam.
What number is Fossey?
9, I think.
Down at the bottom right.
Oh,
is that Fossey?
Yeah, he is him. Watching if it is him.
Where's the effort?
Well, this ball is. Well, here's the effort, because this ball here is is good for anybody. So if the Wolves player fights for this, he's got just as much a chance. But the Manchester guy fights harder, goes up and gets it, and he breaks the tackle here. Now,
he goes.
at this point,
going
there are
up.
a lot of people to come across and get him, but he's fairly fast, so he goes up the sideline. He actually dodges his own player here somehow. This next guy breaks down, jumps inside.
Oh, he
And
killed a
this
guy.
next one, next one
Fossey
here,
killed
he
a
gets
guy.
tackled. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Wait, let's see the effort from him. Where is he?
Attaboy.
Where's he come in? Watch number 9.
Just
He's on the
follow
hashes
him.
there. I'm pretty sure that's Fossey. I think he's watching, so if he is...
Oh, yeah, see, he does. He does
There
get
you
in
go.
front of him. So, yeah, so he gets down, and just the extra effort here at the end, even if he doesn't get in, the extra effort to clear the pylon there is pretty exceptional.
That's
I
what,
mean, by
70
that
yards?
point, you got to lay out for it, don't you? When you get that close, you got to lay
Oh,
out
he
for the
lays
end
out.
zone. Does
Oh,
he lay out? I
proper lays
couldn't
out.
see it.
Oh,
Let
no,
him off then.
he
My
proper lays out. Look,
apologies. I couldn't see it from here. I'm
Look
just
at
on my
this.
phone screen.
he proper lays out, and he hits the pylon
he
as
is.
well. But
Oh,
he's
that's scummy
proper
then.
full. Chris,
That's
you know what it
that's an
reminds me
effort.
of? My
Your one.
touchdown and got called back. Like your foot was on the line. Bollocks. John McEnroe would have been like, no, it's not. The next one
Can't be
here
serious.
is from the Solent Thrashers game. So you'll have to watch this one carefully because it's at a weird angle, but it does go pretty fast. So QB takes a snap, run one way, reverse. Guy comes round here, breaks a tackle, sprints, and what a speed this guy is, by the way. He takes it to the house.
I don't know what the little juke was though, because he was beyond the guy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
It
I
looked-
did wonder this. So you can see here that like there's obviously the line look like they're going one way. The run is actually going this way to start with.
Counter.
He hands the ball off. The entire
Was it a
Exiles
reverse?
team. Yeah, it's a reverse. The entire Exiles team is going the wrong way, and there are linemen here that are going to turn downfield. So they turn downfield and don't actually need to block anybody, which is the scary thing. So this guy misses the tackle. He breaks the tackle here. Then 67 doesn't actually have to do anything. A great block from this guy
Yeah,
here.
good block, that.
And this guy just takes it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you're
an
right. You don't
outstanding
need a
block.
juke. Yeah. it's a
There,
really good
he's
block.
already beyond him.
I know.
Definitely already beyond him.
I honestly don't know what he does this for, but I know exactly what
If
you
you
mean.
got it,
'cause
flaunt it.
Yeah, he just like, oh, I'll take a juke step. You know,
He knew it was going to be sent into Britball with the Breens. So it's
that's
just like,
exactly what he thought. Yeah, but he's quick. Like I could tell you that he's quick.
got
Like on that
wheels.
video.
it's
And
like
the
a
last
prime Lewis
one,
Truman.
the last one is also a very good play. This one is sent in by the Nottingham Caesars.
It's better be hook and ladder.
No, this one is by Nottingham Caesars. Now we'll watch the play through and I'll describe it here. So you can see here they're lined up. It looks like man coverage. QB takes a snap and easy touchdown. Now the thing about this one is the reason this one gets the nomination is because it is literally perfect execution. So watch this guy here. He's going to get off the line here. He's going to shed a block really well. He's going to run his route really well. The QB couldn't place this ball in a better spot if he tried. And the receiver gets to go up and get the ball, and the defender doesn't even see it coming. So watch this guy here. So he comes a release off the line. At some point he does. He comes a release off the line. So he's already winning. He's looking back for the ball. QB places this ball absolutely spot on over the defender's head. Defender has no chance. And this guy, great hands in the end zone. So that's your 3 plays this week. Yeah, it's all just it's a perfect play. Like everything is absolutely spot on for the moment, and you couldn't do anything better than that.
It's one of those, isn't it, where the D, I mean, literally the only thing the defender could have done is get his head round and manage to try and tip it or whatever. But it happens so fast, he's got very little chance. So the coverage wasn't that bad. It's just really well executed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well done, Grant.
Yeah. So let's see here. So
balling out.
This is for you. Yeah, balling out. No TD as only used to playing on 80 yards. Yeah. Fossey for scumbag. I kind of like it. Yeah, there you go. Looks like 9 got flagged for that.
Oh, was it in the back?
Yeah, it must have been. And maybe that's why the TD didn't count.
If
I
it,
don't
if it
know.
actually was devastated.
Yeah, devastated. Defensive play wins by default. That's not how this works. So, because you're the guest, you get first pick. Which one of these plays do you think is the best one?
I'm gonna have to say the Titans pick. It's what, like a 70-yard
I
return,
think it's more like
shoot,
90.
No, they've got a short
80,
field.
whatever
Oh,
it
yeah,
is.
so they
But
do.
he makes multiple people miss. He's got. I mean, look at that. He's got. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4? He's got 5, 6 Titans defenders around him. Huge effort from the defensive players around him to.
Yeah, so he picks it on the
It's.
10
I
yard
mean,
line.
the
Yeah,
interception
right.
in itself is good. And then he breaks the tackle from the guy. It was the ball it was intended for. He makes about 3 people miss. You've got defenders all around him. It's a defensive play, and it's pretty much the full length of the pitch. So the other plays are good. Don't get me wrong, but this is something else.
I
So
do
well
want to know
done,
what
Manchester.
I do want to know what happened here. Like this guy's
Oh, yeah.
literally doing a break dance, so he's trying to copy Sam, obviously, doing a break dance in the middle of the field. Chris, who are you going for?
Yeah, I mean, going personally, I was going to say I'm quite glad that you didn't include the Rushmore pick six against Hertfordshire, because I would have been laughing my ass off for days.
That was a week ago.
Was it a week ago? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I sent my highlight tape to Coach Barnes after that and asked him if he was recruiting. No, out of these ones, obviously the Nottingham one looks great. It's perfect timing. The outside release is good. The ball's
It's
exactly what it
clean,
needs to
isn't
be.
it?
Yeah, the whole way through. The play, it's a really nice reverse. The block that kind of sets him free is phenomenal. The all around the play was quite good. As I said, the Duke was a little bit weird, but what do I know? I love the Titans one. The hustle's great, the effort's great, and especially if it turns out he got robbed of a touchdown, either due to being ruled out or if it was his own teammate getting a block in the back. I feel like he's been robbed once this week. I'm not going to rob him again. So Manchester Titans one for me.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter which I pick. Quite personally, I think that the Nottingham play is as good as you'll get. I honestly don't think you get any better than that as a team play. I'll not point out the left guard. I'll not be mean to him. He just does nothing. But the thing is that overall,
You
the
can't say
play.
I'll not point him out and then say he does nothing.
I'll not point him out on the film. He just stands there. But yeah, the play is executed to perfection, and it probably would have been my pick. I think individually, the effort this guy gives is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like to
And looking
just
at their highlights,
one.
he's on like 700 picks so far this year.
Oh, this guy is mental, by the way. He's
He's
a
ace.
very good, very, very good cornerback. Really
Yeah.
good. And like I've seen some of his plays on their highlights, and he is very good. But
Just stop
yeah,
throwing his way.
don't know what his name is, but he will be our player of the week for this magnificent effort here after picking the ball. So this is a really solid play. You don't get much better than this in Britball, and it's a shame if this touchdown got called back for that. Nah, just the effort's all there. Is that his name, Silva? Well, it's just a unbelievable play. I can't really say much more about that. It was really class. Our next thing is game of the week. So game of the week this week. Now, seeing a few laughing faces for choosing this game. Let me just enlighten you all as to why this is game of the week. One, the first game was extremely close. Really close
7-0.
game. 7-0. So we obviously pick our game of the week by how close we think the game is going to be. So that's the first thing.
I had a little, because I knew I was coming on here. I thought I better have a look because it's game of the week, isn't it? And on the League Republic thing, it says 14-7. I'm sure for week 1.
Oh, was that a 7-point difference? Was it?
I'm sure it said
it was something like a one-score
thing.
game. Yeah, it was a one-score game, but
I mean, it makes no odds really. It's still one score,
No.
but
yeah. Secondly, for this, it's a relegation game. like if Shropshire lose this, they're going to be they're going to be relegated. There's nobody really that they've got left to play that I see them beating. If
Well,
Halton lose
they
this,
need to win. They need to win 3 games. If they lose this one, they need to
Yeah.
win 3.
yeah, if Halton lose this one by more than 7 points, then they're at risk of being put down. And thirdly, because Shropshire thought they should be in the power rankings at the start of the year, and I got a good laugh when they got beat week 1. So this is
They thought they should be. Is that what they said?
yeah,
Yeah, they were very unhappy that they weren't included in the top 10 rankings for Division 1, and then since they've not won a game, so it's one of those instances where you have to say you should probably not speak, and let your on-field play do the talking.
For the record,
rather
my
than...
thumbs up was at that comment, not at about Shropshire.
Yeah. So, Chris, I'll let you go first. Who do you think's taking this one?
I think Halton's going to win. I just think they've got more fight in them. I think, they could have taken the drop down to Division 2. They chose not to. They stayed in, and they fought their arses off all year. I just think the Spartans have more fight in them, and I genuinely think that's going to be the difference.
Warwick?
You go first. I'm going to do some live research.
Oh, okay. So I think this one's interesting because, like, I've spoke to a couple of teams in their division, and a lot of the teams reckon that Shropshire have improved significantly since the start of the year. And although they've lost their games, they think they should cause an upset. Now, I've actually picked Shropshire this week, and I actually think it is a case of if they come out knowing that they're playing for Division 1 football and they really want to remain there, then I think that they'll pull out all the stops to just put in that little bit extra to win this game. Now, Halton being at home is obviously an advantage, and they will be out to make sure that they remain in Division 1 after taking the choice to stay in Division 1. But I've picked Shropshire here. But again, I'm thinking like 3-point game, 3.7 point game again. And if you look in the scores, what's interesting is when we put the game of the week up, normally you get some absolutely bonkers people saying like 60-0, and you're like, no, we've chosen it because it's going to be the closest game. Even the people choosing the scores, it's very, very close. So yeah, I think this one's going to be close.
Yeah.
How's your research?
Well, so I've looked at the league table for this because I've got to say I don't know enough about either team really to have an informed opinion, but it looks like Halton have conceded 258 points and Shropshire have conceded 230 points, 231, and there's only 9 points in their points for. So I'm going to literally base it entirely on that, and I with it being a 1 point score last time, I've played against Shropshire a number of times. They've always got absolute monsters on the lines as well, and based on what you're saying about the power rankings, comments at the start of the year, maybe. They perhaps were expecting an easier game when they played Halton week 1, but obviously they're not going to be as surprised. They're a good program. They've been around for a while and they've always done things quite well. So quite well, very well, and their uniforms are sick as well.
Yeah, the uniforms are.
So based purely on that, I'm going to go with the Rebs. But I'm really sorry, Halton, and don't listen to me because I don't know anything.
Yeah,
so I might as well flip a coin, to be honest.
We've had people do that on the show. We've had people come on and literally flip.
Well, to be fair, it sounds like it's close enough that it might well be that.
Yeah.
So whoever wins the coin toss.
There you go. That's a good one. So that it's going to be an interesting game for sure. Hopefully it'll be really close because we pick it for that reason. So, right, Warwick, we'll go through your division, and then if you're needing to go, we can't hear you go. Look, this is our favourite man, Poppelhoff. So Halton on a 5-game losing streak, Shropshire on a 7-game losing streak. So they're both on a fairly sizable losing streak.
Someone's losing streak ends this week.
Watch this, we'll get a draw.
And then both losing streaks will be over.
Yeah. But one thing I did mention there, I think it's Shropshire that used to have a left tackle that played for GB. And they definitely had a linebacker play for GB. But one thing I noticed this week,
now, I forget his name.
He was playing a couple of weeks ago against Nottingham. Yeah.
Oh. See? Nothing. Told you.
but no, he is coaching. Like he definitely is doing something on the sideline. One of the things I did notice this week is I was watching highlights of East Kilbride versus Lancashire. Lancashire's right tackle is an absolute mountain of a man, like just huge. Like just doesn't let anyone pass him. So if I'm surprised that they don't just run the ball behind him.
Run gap.
He's huge. I just wanted to point that out while we're here. Revs are great in their Halton. Yeah,
Well,
see,
Grant knows.
Grant knows.
GBT manager. If
Yeah.
there's somebody you should listen to.
Again, I don't necessarily disagree with them. I'm just going with it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yeah.
I'm backing the Holt.
Raging. Holton lads are listening to this. That Warwick doesn't know a thing. And you're right, lads. Not a
They're
clue.
sitting snorting mad dog.
Yeah.
Get ready to go.
Yeah. Secretly, I want you to win. That's one.
So this is our first game of the lot. We've got a fair few to go through. So this is obviously your division, South Lincolnshire Lightning versus Humber Warhawks. We'll let you go first because it's your division here.
Well, Humber Warhawks are more than likely going to win that game. Is my prediction. Decent team, Humber. South Link's obviously struggling. Weren't able to play us. So just stop it. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I've said it, you'll all be like, yeah, it is rubbish. So South Links, I don't know whether they've had any injuries or whatever, but Humber will be looking to win this game and regain a bit of momentum on the year. So
yeah. Chris?
Yeah, just on Grant's comment there, just be reassured that if Halton do win, I won't even be remotely smug. So you won't have to worry about that. This game here, yeah, I mean, Humber made a lot of strides in the last couple of years. South Links, for whatever reason, have had their difficulties since they've come in, and I think it's one of those games. I think Humber are the team to team to beat. The team to beat here. I think Humber win this quite comfortably.
Yeah, I think Humber they've improved a lot over the last few years, and they've actually kind of been one of the teams we expected to be really tough in this division, and obviously they've been kind of put in their place a little bit by Scunthorpe and Lincolnshire so far, but obviously you've all got to play each other again, so it becomes like a bit of a.
I think Humber have had a few injuries here and there. I'm not entirely sure, so I could be talking rubbish. I know that their QB got injured in the second quarter in their game with the Bombers, and that had quite a big impact on them. And that game they lost 8-0. And who knows what would have happened if their QB1 had carried on playing, and that or had been able to, I should say, carry on playing. Yeah. And that all of a sudden changes the division and their season completely. But yeah, I'm sorry, South Links guys. Actually, I'm not sorry. Humber yeah.
I was going to say you were being very polite there.
Yeah. Don't have to be polite on the show. Do you know anything about these guys? Scunthorpe Alphas are playing Doncaster Mustangs.
Yes.
With a massive food truck and everything. So
may the best team win.
Yeah. See, good diplomatic that. I like that. Like no.
Yeah. No, we're a great bunch of lads, the Donny lads, and we're looking forward to having them at Quibble. And like I said, they've got no quit in them, and they're going to come and they're going to punch us in the mouth, and we'll punch them back.
And there's the non-diplomatic side of it.
Darren, come on,
Chris,
play nice.
Chris, you going in this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's just fortunate that it's not the two soccer ball teams, because Scunthorpe and Doncaster are both dog shit. So, at least it's the American football teams. Yeah, I mean, I can only see one team winning this. It's going to be Scunthorpe.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think that Scunthorpe are clearly one of the top two sides in that division. They've undefeated. They score points easily against some of the weaker teams, and they've even managed to put up decent points against the teams that are a bit tougher and have been in the league a bit longer. So, Scunthorpe for me by maybe 5 scores, I think, at least. So that's what I'm going with.
How many's 5?
35.
Quick math.
Quick math. Warwick, honestly,
See what we can do.
if you need to go at any point, just drop off. But we're just going to rattle through the rest of these games here. So
no, I'm happy to hang out. Again,
cool.
not a clue. I'll talk rubbish, but I'm happy to hang out if you guys are happy to keep me.
Oh, of course we are. Yeah, we'll try and fill you in as much as we can here. So, Cambridgeshire Cats here. Now they started off the season well, lost the Hornets, which was a bit of a shock to everybody. I think the Hornets played well; they were undefeated, and then they've lost 2 in a bounce. Cats beat them last week on the road. Were up by a fair bit in the first half, and then the Hornets actually clawed them back in the second. Blitz have been on a charge in the last few weeks. They've been the same. They started off the season really slow. All of a sudden, they're nicking wins here and there, and they're at home. I don't think that's going to help them here. I think the Cats are, by the end of the season, I think the Cats are going to be the best team in the South.
You took it from me. I was literally waiting to say that.
Sorry. I think they are going to be the best team in the South for Division 1. But I think that Blitz will come to play here, and they will give them a challenge. And if Cats aren't on their A game, then they'll have to watch out. But I can't see past the Cats here. Chris?
Yeah, as I say, I was away to say myself that the Cats are the best team in the South. And they seem to be getting better and better, and as good as improved as the London Blitz be have been, the Cats, I genuinely believe the Cats are the best team in the South.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that, Warwick?
Based on my live research, I'm going to go with Cats because they're top of the division, and it looks like they're having a really good season. And I'm aware of them a bit, and they've got some great lads, so really good players. So
apparently, Britball's sexiest man as well. I mean, that's...
honestly, he was on the show, and it was just comment after comment of him being a good-looking bastard. Basically,
I don't know. I mean, we've got a guy called Lewis Truman, and he's definitely in with a shout. That guy is an absolute dreamboat.
Look at this one. Cats will beat the Hornets with their QB 5.
Wow.
So yeah,
strong statement.
Yeah, crazy.
Do they have a QB 5?
If they've got 5 QBs, they're doing well. Because I thought Nottingham were doing fantastic with 3.
I mean, there's teams that are lucky to have an O-line 5.
That's what's diluting the talent pool. Talk about all these bloody Division 2 teams. Stop nicking all the QBs.
Yeah. Honestly, it's mental. Like I say, Nottingham have 3 good QBs, and I think the Cats were missing their starting QB week 1 and lost the Hornets. So if they've managed to win that without him, then it's a fantastic achievement there. So the next game here is Tamworth Phoenix versus Edinburgh. Now, when they went up to Edinburgh, I think I expected a closer game out of the Phoenix and Edinburgh, but that was the start of the Phoenix starting to kind of turn things up a little bit. They beat Edinburgh fairly comfortably. Then they come back down. They beat Manchester, and obviously they're on a bit of a roll just now. They're at home. Edinburgh coming off of a good game against Manchester, but still a pretty heavy defeat. I can't see past Tamworth here. It should be a pretty straightforward game for them, I would think. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, it was well documented that Tamworth started the season really slowly, and then they had a heavy loss to Manchester. I believe they then made a quarterback change.
I'll speak to Steve.
I don't want to see that. Yeah, and then the Tamworth have really sort of started to ramp up and get better and better and better as the season went on, and as improved as the Wolves have been this year, Tamworth are going to have too much on this one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, Warwick?
So, first of all, get well soon to, I think it's Dan, isn't it?
Oh, that was horrible.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah, get well soon, mate. Get well soon, because that was horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely echo that message. Get well soon.
And he's recently selected for GB as well, wasn't he? I'm not sure if he was GB previously, but yeah, tough scene. Get well soon, mate. That was,
absolutely.
But I mean, to be able to joke about it whilst lying there on the ground is impressive.
I mean,
have a calendar of the juiciest breaks in Britball.
I must admit, the video of him when they're taking his glove off, I was like, he must have been high as a kite because he just didn't even flinch. I was like, that morphine must have been some good stuff at that point. Because wow, brutal.
Not a clue how it happened. Don't think I really want to know, but yeah.
No, neither do I.
Very tough scene. So yeah, but yeah, in terms of pick, Tamworth Coach Scott and the boys. Can't see past them, and they've got to play Manchester again, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No. Manchester hold the head.
Oh, they're one on one, aren't they? Together.
Yeah, but Manchester hold the points differential.
Yeah.
So
can't see.
So they'll be expecting the Warriors in the playoffs, basically.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, they've done it before,
and
when you've got the quality of coaching that they have, no game is out of reach, and clearly the Warriors are, they're just monsters, aren't they? And obviously monsters that are ridiculously well coached as well. But if anyone can do it, Coach Scott and his team can.
Yeah. Next one here was subject to Game of the Week talk. I actually thought we might choose this one. I think it's like a really good game because obviously Sandwell are a non-factor really in that division. Unfortunately, like it's not being mean.
But this is why it wasn't a Game of the Week contender for me, because there's nothing to play for these teams because they're not going to the playoffs.
Apart from the fact they hate each other.
But they're not getting relegated either because Sandwell are kind of the punching bag this year. So it was kind of one of those things. I was just like, I just don't want to pick it as the Game of the Week because it kind of feels like it might be a bit of a pillow fight at times. But yeah, that was just my opinion on it.
Superstar versus half a star. Longest yard. I think for me, I think this is going to be a really good game. Merseyside got thumped by the Wolves, and then Sheffield got thumped by the Wolves, and then all of a sudden, the second game, Sheffield ran the Wolves really close. They're away from home. I think they'll win. I think they'll be out to win this game, and I think Merseyside obviously been beaten up pretty badly by Manchester and Tamworth this year, and I think they'll want to come out and say, well, we may be not at their level, but we're the best of the rest with the Wolves. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a brilliant game. I think Sheffield are going to upset them away from home here, just purely by the way they played against Edinburgh. So, Sheffield for me. Warwick?
So, cards on the table, I used to be at Sheffield, and so I've got some good pals there, and Toby, without a doubt, is one of the nicest, if not the nicest guy in Britball. Toby Chesters. Hi, Toby, if you're watching.
We've asked him to come on.
Have you?
We're still to get him.
Tell him I'll come and hold his hand next time.
We'll get him eventually. We'll get Toby.
Yeah. No, he's a great guy, and has helped me and mentored me a lot over a few years. So I'm going to go with Sheffield, not just because of that though, but they're getting stronger throughout the year. And they got their first win, albeit against Sandwell, who we know are struggling, but they are getting better and better, and I think that they're going to try and use that momentum and push on a little bit. So I'm going to go with Giants. Sorry, Chris, Nighthawks. I don't know anything.
Chris, did you choose a team?
Yeah, no, I didn't. Not on here. These two haven't met yet so far this season, have they? So I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree with you slightly. I don't believe Sheffield winning would be an upset at all. I think Sheffield are going to win.
Yeah, so 3 Sheffield votes. Oof.
Nighthawks are foaming.
Much is, yeah, they'll be fuming. Sorry about this, Andy. I'm trying to enjoy it so it lasts the whole show. It's a 12-year-old singleton and it's very, very tasty. So I'm trying to enjoy it.
It's a 1.5 mil.
Yeah. The next one here is Berkshire Renegades versus East Kent Maverick. I almost said it wrong. East Kent have actually had some pretty decent games this year. But they've also been beaten comfortably by East Essex Sabres. They've been beaten by Berkshire already. From my point of view, I think Berkshire at home, and I think they are the second best team in that division. I thought they would give East Essex a run for their money last week, and they did. So I reckon that East Berkshire take this one pretty comfortably. Chris?
Yeah, I'm just glad that the offenses in this division took it personally when I said it was an absolute nightmare watch with the points that they were putting up, because they've started really raising their game on the offensive front and getting a lot more points scored. That being said, I think Berkshire win this quite comfortably. It'll be tight, but tight enough. But I think it'll be fairly comfortable for Berkshire in the inch. Berkshire, yeah.
Old.
Yeah,
they've won already.
Have they? They played each other already, have they?
Yeah.
And Berkshire won.
Berkshire already beat them, yeah.
I don't know anything.
It wasn't. To be fair, it wasn't like it wasn't a blowout or anything.
Was it not 10-8 or something?
Yeah, it was close.
Wait a sec.
He doesn't
Am I on
believe
the
us.
right? Look. Hang on. Where's my camera?
Oh, is there another page?
Oh, it's there. East
Oh.
Essex, Berkshire. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong one.
East Kent.
The same thing, isn't it? Oh, I don't know.
Same person.
Berkshire begins with B, and B is before E in the alphabet, so Berkshire win.
Nice. I like that logic. I don't think that's going to work for this one though.
No.
Chris, I'll let you go
Although
first.
the
for this one.
Aztecs are ace this year, aren't they? I mean, they're always ace because they're in the Prem, but they've got some.
Aaron will maybe be able to answer this one. Is their starting QB back fit? I don't know. It's the only thing I'd say put a thingy on it. Chris, you can go first.
So Bristol have improved massively this year. They are the second best team in the Premiership South, but that is maybe saying a lot. Not saying a lot because in the respect of the London Warriors are just so much better. It was a decent enough game last
I know
time.
they're not really the same. Sorry.
To be fair, it's not as bad as me the other week turning around going, why are they called East Kent? Because there isn't another team in Kent forgetting the Exiles, of course, like the clown I am. So, Bristol have been really improved. I'm looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs, but the London Warriors are the best team.
Yeah, I think it's the same. Like at the start of the season, I think we thought, after last year, there was maybe a few teams that are getting a bit closer to them, and then they went, yeah, right, lads, have fun with that, and they just thump everybody again. So, yeah, I can't see past them. I think as long as Bristol are at home, as long as they put on a good show for their home fans, and they keep this game close, you never know. But yeah, I can't see them beating the Warriors.
Warriors, but Bristol are ace.
Yeah, Bristol versus Manchester playoff. Oh,
That
better be live streamed. It really better be live streamed.
That'll be naughty, won't it?
Aberdeen to Bristol flights, Chris. Might be worth a jaunt down. Actually, no, it'll be Manchester. God damn it. Next one here: Dumfries Hunters versus Dunfermline Kings. Hunters obviously coming off their win last week.
Hashtag no refs.
Yeah, we'll be buoyed by this one. Dunfermline struggling again this year. I can't see past Dumfries here. I think that they'll take a bit of confidence after last week and they'll go do the job here. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we played the Hunters last week, and they're so physical in the trenches, man. Like, even though they were still missing guys like Chris, the let up just didn't really happen. They are really physical up front, and I just don't see how Dunfermline cope with that at all. It'll be a comfortable win for the Hunters.
Yeah. Warwick?
Dunfermline have scored no points and conceded 153. So Dumfries.
Yeah, it's nasty, is it? It's nasty looking at it.
Yeah.
And this one isn't much better. DC Presidents will have conceded, I would think, as much or maybe not more than this.
See, now this is where, when people use the lazy take of too many teams in the league, comes into play, because DC got to bypass the usual 35-man roster for in play your 5 associate games and got admitted straight into the league last year, and it's been a mess. Gateshead will win this by a mile.
Yeah, and I think that if it goes ahead, Hunters by cricket score. If it goes ahead, I believe there's no refs, and they're struggling for the ref they would normally ask us down at the Scunthorpe game. So I believe that it should be, if it goes ahead, it should be an easy Gateshead win here. Nothing really to say about that. Warwick?
We had a pre-season against DC, and they are a great bunch of lads. And to be fair, their offensive line is enormous. So I'm hesitating to say anything too negative because of that. But likewise, Gateshead are doing pretty well. So I can't see past the Senators, and Adam coaches at the Senators as well, and he's reffing our game. So in the interests of fair refereeing, Gateshead, my guys. Best team in the world.
Yeah, good shout. Should shout out to them. Keep them going. Next one here: Glasgow Tigers versus East Kilbride Pirates. Now, Glasgow didn't get beat as heavily as I thought they would last week. They obviously won their first game of the season against Inverclyde the week before. I believe that Northumberland didn't have their starting QB, so it would maybe explain why the score wasn't so high. East Kilbride, honestly, have played different. Like I think they played 3 different QBs last week against Lancashire and still won by 50 plus points. If they've got their guy Bapti back in and he is starting, then they're a different team again. He ran 2 massive touchdowns in the second half when he came on. I think that Glasgow will have a tough day at the office with these guys, the East Kilbride, to win comfortably. Chris?
Yeah, so obviously, I don't know about the injury status of the Pirates starting quarterback. The guy, I think it's Sam Montgomery. But since he went down, for some reason, they left Neil Bapti at wide receiver and didn't put him in under centre, which is a decision that absolutely blows my mind. I honestly can't figure it out. Like, I'm sure he's, knowing how mobile he is a very talented wide receiver, but if Sam Montgomery is down, get Bapti in the backfield, get him under centre, because it was absolutely ludicrous to leave him out, at wide receiver instead of under centre. He changed the game when he came in. And yeah, I mean, I'm pleased for the Tigers because I was surprised to see them beat the Goliaths. I genuinely thought the Tigers were probably toast. But they got that win, they got the points differential. So now they can't relax because obviously Inverclyde winning or tie in any game changes things. But the Tigers now know that they're in a position to stay up. And I think that'll relax them a bit more, and that's maybe why they'll play a bit better football as well. But I still think the Pirates have too much for them in the end.
Yeah, Warwick.
If they start Neil Bapti.
Yeah. Tigers have the coolest helmets in Britball. EKP are ace, so I'm going to go with EKP.
The Cincinnati Tigers. The Cincinnati Tigers.
Oh, it is cool, though, isn't it?
Here you go. The reason I'm putting this up. Here you go. Here's something for you.
Oh.
Presidents don't usually last very long. 1986 to 1988, 1995 to 1997, 2012 and 2013, 21.
I genuinely thought he was making some sort of election joke there. I didn't realise he was actually speaking about Durham.
Is he Alexa that's become self-aware or something?
Pretty much. Like, honestly, he comes out with stuff.
Where did he get that stuff from?
He knows so. Honestly, he comes on our show and he does stuff for the head-to-heads for Sport Tank, but. We started this. You've been Poppelhoff because we got Poppelhoff by him one week, and I got Poppelhoff by him one week. So I was like, oh,
is he who is it? Because that's not his real name.
It's a guy who plays for the Cats. I think,
presumably, this is unconscious bias in action, right? I'm assuming it's a he.
Well, yeah, we're assuming. I think he's involved with the Cats.
Right.
We just get stuff from him and we use it.
No wonder the Cats are good. I bet they know literally everything about every single team.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, look, in the bin. That's DC Presidents. Vikings had their OC at QB. Yeah, I thought that was the case. I heard that earlier in the week. Next game here, Hertfordshire Cheetahs versus South Wales Warriors. Another one that when Hertfordshire played South Wales at home, they really struggled against them. I think they ended up beating them 13-0. The South Wales Warriors are a decent outfit. They're very strong at home. On the road, will they beat Hertfordshire? I don't think so. But Hertfordshire have just come off of a loss that they won't like. And they're coming up against a really stout defence. And their offence isn't great. So, weigh that up how you might. It gives South Wales Warriors a chance. They maybe just need to score once and then shut the doors, But I think Hertfordshire might win this one, but I think it's going to be another really close game. Chris?
Yeah, so here's the kind of the inside scoop on this one, right? Is that against Rushmore, the Hertfordshire Cheetahs quarterback threw 6 interceptions, including a pick 6, and the Cheetahs defense scored again, and it was still a fairly close game against Rushmore, right? the Hertfordshire Cheetahs, it could be a close game, but they literally need to tell their quarterback before the game starts, for the love of God, just don't do anything stupid and let the defense take care of it, because their defense is scoring at an absolutely insane rate. I think before the Rushmore game, they were at a 37.5% clip of their team total points was defense or special teams, and that'll be even higher now. Yeah, I mean, as long as their quarterback's not throwing 6 more interceptions this week, I think they'll be okay.
Keep the turnovers to a minimum. Warwick?
Just less than 6. I mean, 3 might be less. Might count be enough, but
sounds good to me. Based purely on the standings in the conference, I'm going to go with Cheetahs.
Yeah, I mean, that conference is nuts. Honestly, the SFC
it's competitive, that, isn't it?
SFC 1 does my head in every week. Every week, power rankings are like, yeah, these guys are the next up. Oh, they lost. Oh, these guys are the next. Oh, they've lost. It's honestly a pain in the backside, but it's a really competitive division, which is what you want in football, not what you want for power rankings.
I mean, Hertfordshire, they've only scored like 40 points more than they've conceded. That's a really tough division.
Yeah, and their defense has scored.
The defense has scored about 40% of them at this point.
Oh, right.
Yeah, their offense just does not do their defense even remote justice. It's quite criminal at times. I think even their 28-21 win against Oxford Saints, for example, it was 3 defensive special teams touchdowns for the Cheetahs and 1 offensive touchdown. Just like, come on, lads, help your guys out.
Defense wins championships, offense win games. The next game here is the Ipswich Cardinals versus Ouse Valley Eagles. The Cardinals did a decent job against Norwich last week. Norwich were at home. They only conceded 20 points. They didn't score. Ouse Valley's defense has been decent this year at home. They don't give up that many points. So if you can't score, it's an issue. But I don't see Ipswich not managing to score at least 1 touchdown here. And I don't know if Ouse Valley's offense has the ability to score 2 touchdowns. So from my point of view, this is an Ipswich Cardinals win all day. Chris?
This is one of those ones where I would normally have to double check who I picked, but I'm fairly sure I picked Ouse Valley. I feel so bad, Chris. I genuinely feel bad.
This?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my flip coin ones. I don't really know who could win this one, but I backed the Ouse Valley Eagles for this one.
Oof, split decision. Warwick?
I like the Cardinals' hench monk logo.
Chris hates it.
It's the worst logo in Britball, hands down.
I totally dispute that. It's ace. What more can you want from a logo than a bodybuilding
everything?
monk?
Everything.
It's the eyes. It's the eyes.
It's ace.
Freaky.
I don't know what you're on about.
Hard disagree.
So I'm going to go with the Cardinals and their dreamy monk, their hench monk. He's going to come swooping in and he's going to smack the Eagles out of the air.
He's just going to scare them.
That's literally it. I ain't got a clue. One of them's going to win. It's either going to be the Cardinals or the Eagles.
Or
it used to be a competition between that logo and the Cornish Sharks, which had the massive cross eyes. That wound me up.
Look at this comment.
Oh, for God's sake.
Not far wrong.
It's a little bit. No. The Green Goblin is a rip-off of the Cardinals logo. I think they're fine.
No, that's all right. Next game here, Lancashire Wolverines versus Inverclyde Goliaths. Now, Lancashire have lost pretty heavily to the better teams, Yorkshire, East Kilbride, Northumberland, but they've done the job against Glasgow and Inverclyde before. They do concede points, but they put up points against these teams. And as I said earlier, their right tackle's a behemoth. Their QB is good. I expect them at home to win this one. 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns win. Chris?
Yeah, see, this was a quality game last time.
Yes, it is, Adam.
This was a quality game last time out. The monk has left the building. And this is the Goliaths' last real chance to survive in Division 1. Now, they have a chance to win it, but only if Bud is fit to play. If he's not fit to play, I can't see them winning it. So if he is, I'll say the Goliaths, but because I'm pretty sure he isn't, I'll back the Wolverines.
Warwick?
One of my best ever mates plays for the Goliaths. I went to school with him, and he's ended up all the way up there. And it was close last time, wasn't it? When they played right at the start of the season, didn't they?
It was like 33-28 or something.
Yeah. So bearing that in mind, close game, mate plays for them, fighting for survival in the division. I'm going to go with Inverclyde. And it's really close, sort of points for, points against, isn't it?
Yeah, they're both similar.
It's going to be a really good game.
If it's the same as last time, it's basically a shootout.
Yeah, not sure, but yeah. Go get him, Ian. You got this.
Next one here is London Hornets versus Essex Spartans. Again, London Hornets started the season. They were undefeated through 5 games, I think, 4 or 5 games. Essex Spartans started the season really well. Then second game, they were up against the Cats at halftime, and you're thinking, oh, and then the Cats came back, and that was the trajectory for the Cats season. Since then, the Spartans haven't managed to get kind of as rolling as much as they were, and the Hornets are coming off 2 defeats. So I think that Essex need to smell the blood in the water and say, actually, no, let's go after them here. They're maybe a little bit vulnerable, and the Hornets will be thinking, no, let's get ourselves back on track. We need to finish the season strong. So for me, I'm going to pick the Hornets. I think they showed in the second half that they could put up points against the Cats, so I'm going to pick them. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, both teams have kind of had the difficulties the last couple of games out. The Spartans lost to the Blitz B, Hornets lost to the Cats, but I think the Hornets will just have too much.
Warwick?
Again, based purely on the league table, I'm going to go with Hornets at the minute. Sorry, Spartans. Don't know enough to make an informed decision really other than that, but it looks like the Hornets are doing pretty well this season. Decent offense as well, 175 points in 7 games.
Yeah,
so
monster of a running back. Big, fast running back, number 30. Good player. Next one here, London Olympians versus Solent Thrashers. Chris, you can go first on this one.
Solent Thrashers.
Yeah, it's one that probably isn't going to be close. Solent have proven themselves that they are a Premiership team. They beat the Blitz this year once. They've competed with most games they've been in. They've clearly got some decent players. Olympians have struggled all season. I can't see it going anywhere but Solent. Warwick?
Same. Sorry, Olympians. But yeah, they've done really well. Solent.
I don't think any Olympians.
It's their first season in the Premier, is it? They've just
Solent,
come up, haven't they?
Solent, yeah.
Yeah, and they've really handled themselves well, haven't they?
Yeah, their first season in the Prem, and they managed to get a scalp of the Blitz, as well as securing their safety already. So, they've done a good job. Absolute props to Coach Rains as well.
Yeah, this is an interesting comment. Aaron, I actually believe that when we were speaking about this a couple of weeks ago, I believe it's Wembley that have trended down because of potential moves. But yeah, it's the same thing. Next one here, before we start this one, I've given a shout out here. So we have to give a shout out to the Nottingham Caesars kicker, who has been offered a Division 1 position for FCS Alcorn State Braves football. So he's committed to them. So
yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Making money moves.
Yeah, congratulations to James Hobson. Well done. I'll put it up on Instagram later if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely massive congrats.
Yeah, and I'm coming off of a...
Caesar's going for 2 every time, yeah?
Well, this is the thing. It's coming off of a win against the Romans. Now,
that was a big win, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Huge
win. And now, I mean, realistically...
Grant the Pokemeister, catching them all, isn't he?
Yeah.
Reeling in all these talented players.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, unless they can beat Leicester, without me being harsh, unless they can beat Leicester, they're still not going to make the playoffs because the Romans thumped them the first time. But it doesn't matter. You've showed you're improving. You've showed you've come up against that. Like, the Romans are a good team, and you've beat them. And so you're going into this. Birmingham have just come off a 55-0 loss to Leicester. So for me, Nottingham Caesars win this. It was a really good game last time, but I think Nottingham will be better at home. So Nottingham for me. Chris?
Yeah, Nottingham for me as well. Interesting point you make about Leicester, though, now that the quarterback's no longer with them.
Well, he hasn't played this year.
Has he not? Has he not? Oh, I
Apparently
did see
not.
that.
Grant, if you're listening, can you clarify this? Now he's another one that gets a shout out if they were playing, but he's been offered. He's away to play for Stuttgart
He
Surge.
signed for the Stuttgart Surge in the ELF.
Yeah. So he's signed for them in the European League, but I believe that he's not the guy that's been playing their starting QB. So it might not make a difference to them. Grant will maybe start me out here.
But
There you
yeah.
go. Oh, he's played every game. I'm wrong. I read something earlier that
Both
said
ways. It's 2022.
that it's a Division 1 team.
Yeah. So
You got one team playing people both ways, another team with 5 QBs. What's going on? And no refs.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, Grant, then yeah, he's a massive loss to Leicester.
So anyway, kind of back onto this game. Well, it kind of impacts it as well. I'm backing the Caesars anyway, but their season's still alive now. They have to be having one eye on that Leicester game as well, thinking, we can probably win that game, and then it changes everything. So yeah, as long as they're not looking too far ahead, I can't see Nottingham losing this game.
There's one team rubbing their hands at that, Northumberland.
Oh, they must be absolutely delighted with that news.
Over the moon with that news. Warwick?
Yeah, Caesars are building something special, aren't they? Led by Grant. Obviously, tongue-in-cheek comments before, but yeah, they're a really, really solid program, and they're on the up. Birmingham, though, I mean, they've been around for donkey's years, haven't they? And they're solid as a rock, so it should be a good game. But I mean, congratulations to the Caesars for their win the other week. It was impressive, especially given that because the turnaround from the first time they played is bonkers.
Oh, it's massive. Conceding 60 points in the first time and then only conceding 14 in the second time.
Yeah, so I mean, the coaching that must have gone in to overturn that result is outstanding. So well done to you guys. Whether they'll beat Leicester this year, I'm not sure, but look out for them next season if they don't. So I'm going to go with Caesars, but that's in no way disrespectful to Birmingham because I've got a lot of time for them.
Yeah, good team. We've played them. Chris was on the wrong end of some of their defensive lads.
Yeah, but I got the last laugh.
They got some bloody units, haven't they? Birmingham?
Yeah, they do.
They also played a lot of cover zero when we played them as well. It actually led to kind of a comedy moment. We had a bagel call for when they were in cover zero, so we knew to change to a different play. And one of their defensive players caught onto it, but he caught onto it a little bit too loudly, and was like, "Oh, when they go to that, it's a pass." So I deliberately called the bagel call on a run play, and he turned around to me after and called me a cheeky bastard.
Classic.
You should have changed to different forms of bread.
Tiger
sourdough.
Tiger loaf.
But they were a cracking team when we played them, and I really enjoyed that game because they battered me that game as well. But it was a really good contest.
They prepared us for Chester in the final, that's for sure. Portsmouth Dreadnoughts versus Rushmore Knights. This should only go one way. We are, if you don't know, our second family live down in our other side of the family live in Portsmouth. We love Portsmouth to bits, but they're not being Rushmore. Rushmore, I think, have got their GB running back, and I think they've found a bit of a rhythm in the last couple of weeks, so I can't see past them. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, this will be like the third game in a row where I've said I believe my uni quarterback's starting for Portsmouth this week, and every week he messaged me afterwards and goes, "No, something came up or whatever," and he wasn't there. So I'm not going to trust that he's actually starting this week for Portsmouth. But yeah, I mean, Rushmore have really started to accelerate towards the end of the season, and they should win this quite comfortably.
Yeah, Warwick?
I'll go with what you said. Not a clue, but it sounds like Rushmore are doing well, and Portsmouth not as well. So, Knights.
Yeah, tough division for Portsmouth, that one. Somerset Wyverns versus Bristol Apache. This is another one that should only go one way. Bristol are by far better than the rest of that division. I think for this, Somerset at home, they are the closest team to Bristol. they'll want to put out a full strength squad and want to give Bristol a game. I can't see them managing to hold up for the entire game. So Bristol for me, quite comfortably. Chris?
The Somerset Wyverns are the second best team in that division. Unfortunately for them, the Apache are the best team, and it should be a comfortable win.
Yeah. Warwick?
The Apache are very, very good. So I'm going to go with the Apache. And I'm not saying that the Wyverns aren't. But
It's exactly what I mean. It's exactly what I mean. Like the Wyverns are the second best team.
Yeah.
But
Portsmouth
it's like an A playing an A+, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I would love for the Wyverns to turn up and do their thing and come away with a dub. And, fair play if they do. Based purely on results that I've seen so far, I'm going to go with Apache. But again, I don't know the circumstances of the teams, the players, injuries, and all that sort of stuff. So
it'll be Apache. Don't worry. It'll be. They're a very good team this year, and they're comfortably the best team in their division. They beat Somerset comfortably the first game, so it should be the thing. Staffordshire Surge versus Lee Miners. Chris, you want to go first with this one?
Yeah, I mean, this will be another cracker. I mean, these guys have played, 2 games this year, and both of them have been absolutely outstanding games, but it was the tie the first time round, and I said that I felt the tie would lead to the Surge winning the second time round, which they did, and I think now that the Surge are back at home, they'll win the third time round as well.
Yeah, obviously, the draw the first time we had the Lee Miners guys on the show. We've picked them as favourites for the first week, loss. So it's a shame because Staffordshire at home. Yeah,
I picked the Surge.
Oh, did you?
That week because I had to sit and explain to our Lee Miners guest I'd picked against them when everyone else had picked for.
Yeah, the Staffordshire at home, and they are a more experienced team, and I think they should probably win this one. Warwick?
I'm just going to note that, sorry, I forget his name. I'm sorry, mate. But the Lee Miners manager that came on your show, I think he did it.
Jack came on, our offensive lineman for them.
Oh, okay. It might have been
the other show.
Yeah, Britball in. Sorry,
who?
It's all right.
Yeah. But I've got to say, I was really, really impressed with what he said about the way that they're going about things and building and what they want to do and things like that. So, although the results haven't come their way yet, I'm sure that if they carry on the way that they're going, that they will do. That being said, they've got their first win, didn't they? So well done to them. But I think Staffs, they've been around for a long time. They've got some really experienced guys. So, but who knows? They've all been pretty close, aren't they? These games in this division, it's a fairly hotly contested one, but Staffs are just edging it a little bit, aren't they? So
yeah, I think I've been Popplehoff here. I thought they'd already played Somerset at Bristol. I thought Bristol had already beat them.
I thought they had as well.
Was that Somerset versus Cornwall by any chance? He may be correct us. I thought they'd already played, but if they're 4-0, then it sets up a good game.
Still stand by my comment.
Still stand by Bristol, yeah. Next one here, the Sauce versus Swindon Storm.
Hold on. No, it's the weak Sauce against the Swindon Drizzle. Because this is the 2 forfeit teams playing against each other, so they probably just couldn't decide which one of them wanted to back out at the last minute.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a weak Sauce against the Drizzle for this one, I'm afraid, and hopefully it ends in a 0-0 draw.
Is that what you're going for, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. That's if they turn up. It is the first meeting this season. Sorry, that's my bad. I thought they'd already played each other, but I don't have stuff up in front of me. So, return fixture last day of the season. Now, well, then Somerset have got everything to prove. This is a nightmare one because they're both forfeit games. Swindon, what have I always called them? The average Division 2 team. They'll beat the really crappy teams, but they'll lose against any half-decent team. And really, this is a really crappy team. So I'm hoping that Swindon will just win this and it'll be comfortable. Warwick?
Has one of them not played twice?
The Sauce didn't play Northants on both occasions. And the Drizzle didn't play the Northants on one occasion.
So on that basis, I'm going to go with Swindon, because they are currently winning 2-1 in games avoided, or not fulfilled, I should say.
Yes, and they both got thumped by Hereford, so it's They're
Hereford, a good
both
team.
very good. Yeah, they were. This one again, another contender for game of the week for me, and the only reason I say that is because Yorkshire are at home. Northumberland beat them at home, and again it was I think it was 30. Was it 31-10, Chris? It was something like that. 31-14, and or 35-14. It's one of the two. And basically, a lot of the points came near the fourth quarter, and the Vikings were just too strong for them. But there was a bit of controversy around some of the referee in there. Like some of the one of the option plays got blown dead when the QB was running down the field, because they thought the guy had been tackled in the backfield. But Yorkshire are different at home. They have scored points for fun at home. If they have a full squad going in, Northumberland have got to travel, then I think they cause them more problems. At the same time, Chris will be able to tell you, we went down to Yorkshire and thumped them one year at their own home field. So, but I think they're different this year. I think that team is building, and I think they are a different team. Northumberland are the team to beat now. They're probably the best team in Division 1, along with Leicester. And really, for me, I've picked the Rams purely because I think they're at home, and if they score early, then they can really pin their ears back and go after Northumberland. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think this will be closer than the first game, but I think I don't want to say that the Rams are trending down the way this year. They're not, but they've kind of plateaued. Whereas I feel like the Vikings are still raising their game, so I think it'll be the Vikings for me. It'll be closer than the first game, but it'll be the Vikings for me.
Yeah, Warwick?
I'm going to completely bottle it and abstain from this one because I haven't got a clue. Not because I don't know much about these two teams, but because they're both absolutely outstanding outfits. And so I honestly don't know. And I've got to say, if I didn't have a wife and 3 kids, then this is the sort of game that I would travel to go and watch because they're both really, really good teams. So,
and if your team wasn't playing.
Yeah, Sodom. No, you're right. No. If we had a week off and we didn't have training and all the other hypothetical scenarios that meant that for whatever reason I wasn't doing anything, I would probably go and watch this. I'll tell you what, I'd watch a stream. There we go.
Yes, there was a stream last time. It was a decent game to watch, actually.
Yeah. But I don't know, and these are both teams that are going to be sniffing around promotion this year, next year, years to come. Definitely, aren't they? So,
well,
who knows?
They're both still in the running for the playoffs. And Northumberland obviously have the upper hand. East Kilbride have the upper hand over Yorkshire at the moment. But both Northumberland and East Kilbride have to play Yorkshire at home. So it's all over the place.
I tell you who's the real winner. Britball is the real winner in this game.
Britball always wins. You're right. Saying this next one, London Blitz versus Kent Exiles. Chris, do you see this one going anywhere but one?
No,
just to interrupt you, lads. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to go. So
sorry, this is the last game.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's right then.
No, you've been kiboshed. Away you go. I can't see it. I mean, I like the Exiles. I like their outfit, but I think this is just the Blitz's game to lose, really.
Yeah, Warwick, I'll let you go.
I'm going to go with Howie and the Blitz because he's the most dreamy centre in Britball.
Oh, Solent Thrasher Centre have something to say about that.
I'm gonna stand by it.
Easy. Solent Thrasher Centre is a monster, really good player. But yeah.
Oh wait, I'm not disputing. How good he is.
You mean?
I mean,
dreamy. All right,
dreamy.
I get you now.
Yeah. I mean, Howie's great. Don't get me wrong. He's got selected for GB as well, hasn't he? So good lad. But I've got to go with Howie. I'm afraid.
I don't think I would like to say I'm not sure I've ever heard of a dreamy centre, but I'm sure our dad would disagree.
But this is the thing, you see. That is why he's so dreamy. He's like elevating the dreaminess.
Yeah.
Because he's hamstrung by his position, you see.
He brings the average up. It's like having like a 50-year-old in amongst a group of 21-year-olds in a team, and that average age just goes up and up and up.
Yeah. For me, the Blitz win this one comfortably. They've kind of been the same as the Blitz B team. They've been on the up, and I think can't see past them. The only thing we've got left here is, let me see, good luck to the Northant Knights under Whittain. Yeah, good luck to everybody playing over the weekend. Thanks very much for coming on.
Teams, though.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Youth is outstanding, and the Bombers, we played them this year, and they're doing
There you
really
go.
well.
He's an ex-linebacker, so can get away with it being dreamy. There you go. Yeah, thanks very much for coming on, Warwick. We've got Game Day Live. Anybody who've got the results, post the hashtag your results over the weekend. The boys will pick it up on the show. Again, thanks for coming on, Warwick. We've thoroughly enjoyed having you on.
It's a pleasure.
Good luck to everybody playing this weekend, and we'll catch you again next week, folks. Catch you later.
Cheers, guys. See you later.